9-1 globally with this roster, with this composition, going for a very quick takedown short.
Yeah, a lot of pace just being injected straight down short. You see that early nade's going to be forcing Mako out of position, and the reclear from Buzz. He's actually taking positioning in showers. The whole team's going to be backing him up, it seems. Giving a lot of free reign to the one side of the site, but slowing it down for now. Attempt there of the plan, but the utility going to be stopping that one. Exchange of the spike as well in a couple of their hands, and it looks like if Ye might be able to contain the back of it, he is being contested. Two players swing, and Ye will fall.
That's
Diablo dealt with.
A first death for Ye to kick things off. Couldn't ask for a better beginning, and OpTic still haven't got the spike down. Crashy's flashed up, taken down.
This is reading like DRX are incredibly well versed on what to do. Victor though, quick little snap at the wrist. Mean that Mako falls down to that 3v4, but the players are low.
And there's nobody on B. So this is a great pivot from OpTic. They're going to be able to get a free spike plant down here, but no mollies, no snake bite, no way of stopping the DRX players from getting into elbow and getting a good retake off. However, all four of the players coming from halls, and Marv is ready to challenge.
Yeah, straight through spawn. Marv tries to take the first contact. Has to respect it though, a lot of players there. Finesse on a close corner, close angle. Players are weak, the right clicks are doing so much work. But at the end of the day, RB lands the shots necessary, surviving on 9 health. It's gonna be the pistol round, taken away here for DRX.
What a close one. What a close one to start things off there. And I gotta say, Brent, I think the crowd is gonna be fairly split for this game.
Yes.
I feel like for the first time, the crowd here at Istanbul has really got behind OpTic on their run. But DRX have become, and started honestly, as fan favorites. And especially when you finally see them reaching their potential, it gets you excited all over again.
Yeah, the expectations that have been laid on DRX's shoulders from essentially the beginning of this team when they were known as Vision Strikers, when they went on a win streak, to really make up for it now. It's OpTic on that eco though. Victor wants to take a bit of space there.
And the same kind of approach again as we saw in the pistol round. Obviously makes sense here because he has a shorty looking to take value in lamps.
Yeah.
Interesting the way that DRX are playing this as well. Remember, this is the composition that Loud beat OpTic with just yesterday. But Loud are focusing very heavily on short control. And already you can tell that that is not where DRX are going to be focusing.
Yeah, not necessarily the game plan. Spike is going to get planted though, so a bit of extra pocket change at the end of the day for OpTic. Actually converting the round is going to be another order of business though. Quite difficult at that. They know where Marv is, spots him out, and still good clearance. Flash play through the wall. Actually catches onto a multitude of players, but it is DRX with the coverage. Anti-flash being played, I believe, so they are going to be able to wipe out the remaining OpTic players.
And a good reaction from Buzz as well to just throw the satchel in that spot. So difficult to be able to pick him off there. And Buzz is definitely a player that we need to be keeping our eyes on. In the series overall, but also on Bind. It's been a long time since he showed us the rays. But his duelist play in general at this event has been astoundingly good. And Bind has got to be the map where DRX are the least favored in this BO5 overall.
Absolutely.
So, but listen, we said the same thing about Loud yesterday when they played against OpTic, and OpTic were dealt their first loss globally with this composition.
So times change. It'd be a bit boring if we were reliving the same storylines over and over again, as much as it seems that way sometimes.
So this time the two initiators from DRX are split on opposite sites. So Stack's looking to get some information down B long, and a triple stack over on A. Mako in a position where he's ready to kind of collect the aggression from Victor. And Victor once more moving his way down short, but this time without the blast packs.
Yeah, no utility being used, pure silence. A bit of spam comes down at the end of the day. Buzz though does claim the 1 kill. FNS even took so much damage, has to respect it and back away.
Insane amounts of damage done by Buzz there with the Spectre. Ye's used all of this distraction to go and take B long control, but I'm sure Stax has heard this.
Yeah. Holding the corner as well, a bit of a jump peek to see if they can play for this one. Stacks on a slight off angle to be in favored there. I think there was a pull as well to just offset the movement of Ye ever so slightly. There's only 45 seconds roughly in a round now for OpTic to make a decision on what they want to do. 3 of their players left standing. They invest fully into this one.
And off all of that pressure towards B long, you've got Buzz taking space over in showers as well. DRX showing a fundamentally good approach here to using their players to get information around the map.
30 seconds
if OpTic
left.
lose this, bonus round for DRX would keep the momentum so heavily in their favor.
Help them out massively. Smokes are going to be dropped though, and that's going to signify this is going to be a hit coming through. Snake bite into the corner. It's good clearance, but it's still only the 1-for-1. Crasher wants to move forwards. Needs to start taking a bit of damage, and taking some names he will.
He flashed himself.
Yeah, Stacks with the self-flash. Inopportune times. Nade to the side. Time running low. But they do get the kill at the end of the day, so OpTic just about clinched this round.
And what an OpTic round that was. Bullying their way in with a player disadvantage. Breaking crossfires, reading the defensive protocols there. They were so ready for Stacks to flash through that smoke, even if he'd connected with it. Crashes was ready to play anti-flash there.
Crashes
got the
having
punish
such
perfect.
a good tournament as well. In terms of his consistency, he's always consistent every tournament.
And he plays better at LAN. That is one of the phenomenal things about having Crashes. So, disaster averted for OpTic. They get the anti-bonus working. But Buzz is so aggressive so early on. And I think he dodged that flash. The smoke that RB is putting out as showers, allowing Buzz to get very pushed up there. And you've got to keep in mind that OpTic sometimes do this double blast pack play to take showers control. So Buzz just looking to take the fight if Victor had chosen that area at the beginning of the round.
OpTic just, again, slow and steady, contacting up their way through short, waiting for the Viper Orb to fall. Does have that Boombot, it's going to let that one rip. Moves it to the side, and there's a Boombot for a Boombot. That is going to be getting some presence, a flash as well to try and initiate Victor in. He's gained control of lamps. Bit of map control for his team to work with.
And that is going to set FNS up here for this pit. It is a nasty pit, but it doesn't give them very much room to plant. Crashies is going to be vitally important here with one flash to use. And Ye has just found the pick with the late backstab in showers, takes out Buzz. And they spot Mako.
Mako's been spotted as well. It's going to be potentially a pincer happening. Zest has to try and relieve some of that pressure. Nade off to the side. A wider swing from Victor will not come up with the goods, but Crashies does return the fire. Stacks left alone. Probably opting into a save at this point with just the Viper's pit up, an unwinnable scenario. So he looks to take that gun into the next round.
And this does give us a chance to talk a little bit about that OpTic Loud game yesterday. A historic win for Loud. Both in terms of the match, being able to get that leg up over OpTic, but also the win here on Bind. Breaking OpTic's composition with an unorthodox approach. Normally the double initiator comps, as with the comp that DRX is running here, they're going to play for B-long and showers like we've seen DRX play.
Yeah.
But instead, Loud had a different approach where they were planning to sand crunch a lot. And try and retake B by prioritizing hookah control. That's not what DRX are going for.
No.
Stacks is almost always playing at B long. I think he has done every round. And this showers pressure is getting distracted to set up for Ye to go for those backstab kills.
But they have been aware of Ye. At least on the pistol round, there's been some element, I think, of at least the fact that they are ready for it. But at the end of the day, even if you're ready for Ye, he can really take him out.
Yeah, he still just beats
one enemy remaining.
I mean, when Ye's ADSing, I believe he hits every shot. I haven't looked at the stats.
Yeah,
but
so does Angel.
So now you see DRX push down onto a Thrifty of their own. Stacks with the hero rifle that he's taken from the prior round. And this is going to be a showers take, but not the aggressive double satchel play that Victor's gone for in the past.
It's just facing again, but 3 players of OpTic now are going to be meeting him. A lot of caution being showcased as well as they are trying to take that showers control. On the other side of the map as well. Well, before that, quick little nade to try and move away. That's a nice little seize nade combo, and it was a flash play. See if they can pincer these players off. Buzz does claim a kill, but OpTic are more than contained.
Look how incredibly ready OpTic were to deal with that showers crunch. Just fantastic. And even Crash is choosing to invest the Trailblazer. That is respect being shown.
The Seekers, yeah.
Sorry, the Seekers, of course. The ultimate being used there just to give them information on where the last 3 DRX players are, and they realize that they have the site for free. And you know, OpTic have been... It was an area that they really got tripped up on earlier this year, winning anti-ecos. Used to be a big thorn in their side, and at this event now, they've just been so clean. Look at them just mopping it up.
Part of that comes down to that respect that they're willing to show their opponents. A team like DRX been making waves this event. And if it comes down to it, you know, maybe you do have to invest the ultimates, the Seekers, even if you are against a weaker buy.
So DRX have been running the same defensive setup here, where RB and Stax are playing over on B, and then you've got Mako kind of locking down lamps. So now they're going to swap it up. This indicates to me that Mako's going to use his ult towards showers. And OpTic look to want to fight there pretty heavily. So Mako's got nobody with him as he first pops this ult. If he does go for the pit, I wonder if these short players will try and wrap around.
This is an interesting Viper wall as well. It doesn't really give much coverage. FNS just forced to contain. The player is so up close in his face, and FNS will be punished for it. Just opened himself a little bit too wide there, but yeah, the DRX players were ready for it. Had to give up Showers control though.
Yeah, so much aggression, and Mako didn't invest the Viper pit, choosing to play that one safely. Now that they've got Ye posted up, they could go and pressure back towards B, but not feeling like it. This is just going to be an A exec pretty early on.
Just trying to take the fight. Viper utility catching her a little bit unaware there. Showstopper across the map. No, that's Victor. Making names once more. Making a name for himself with the 2 kills. He's definitely opened up this site, but Mako, what a reclear. Taking up space now. Trailblazers hunted him down though. Stunned, locked into the corner. Should be dealt with momentarily, but he needs to get bailed out by the rest of his team. And there's the orbital strike. How does he not die there? Left down to 19 health. Needs the help of RB and Stax. But it's difficult. These post-plant setups that OpTic are in, leaving no room for error.
RB does have the heal, but going for this one in a 3v4 would be really difficult, so they're just going to back off and save.
Yeah.
Big round for OpTic to win again. What a performance by Victor. So, kind of helped by Crashy's utility at all times, and Crashy's has just been insanely good with how he's setting up the Trailblazers to find people on the map and the flashes too, but Victor instantly pathed back to short to try and stop any kind of aggression after FNS died, and then he just sent it with the showstopper, managing to find 2 entries.
Yeah,
look at that.
Amazing.
That showstopper is off the back of Ye giving information. Buzzer just used his boombot over into showers. Perfect. Absolutely perfect use of information and comms there to get the 2 entries. These were things that were absolutely brutalizing them against Loud. And here we see OpTic going for a triple face, trying to punish Stax as he plays for the orb. They realize Stax is 1 away from his ultimate, and they triple swung out to try and punish.
Maybe partly realizing as well that Stax has been the only one really holding this position. Ye takes contact, and Ye claims another kill.
Concealment.
He wants to try and weave his way inside of his own smokes here, but
yeah, this is aggressive. RB has one of the hero rifles there, and he's going to be able to get some level of info that the OpTic players have disappeared. But Ye is keeping information towards B long to some degree, so they could pivot back. Prowler goes and clears out Hookah as well. They can be pretty confident in keeping these 3 players on A.
yeah. There's a similar scene, at least with the utility that's being used. Victor now close and personal inside it is. Boombot clears 1, but in the corner, Victor just left unaware. Buzz was just strapped right to the side. The showstopper will miss. FNS just evacuating, using the teleporter to get to safety.
Mako looks like he thought for a moment about dipping through the
30
TP
seconds
himself,
left.
but chooses not to. Picks up the Phantom, and now it's a 2v4 retake. And this, again, just doesn't look doable.
It just has to be a save.
Spike
Playing
planted.
retake on B as well when you're at a player disadvantage. Not ideal at all. But OpTic, bit of a statement here on their map pick. So far leading very strong. DRX, I mean, the only 2 rounds they ended up winning were the pistol round and the subsequent one.
Yeah, this is a flattening so far. And to some degree, Brent, that is expected. We said that DRX should be least favored on Bind to start things out. That's the whole reason that OpTic picked this map. But at the same time, DRX are a team that we've seen incredible mental fortitude from. They've managed to recover 2-9-3 halves, 1-8-4 half at Champions alone. But we've also seen the opposite. We've seen some disastrous mental crumbles from this team, and all of the fans of DRX are hoping that those days are over. I think this map, if it continues in the same kind of vein, is going to pose a serious question early in the series to DRX. Do you have what it takes to just bounce back if you do end up getting destroyed here? Still early days, though.
Yeah. And over this tournament, DRX, I think, have proved over and over again that they have managed to get over that mental blockage. I think that prevented them from really performing past a certain point on the global stage of living up to the hype, I think, as well. often been kind of the underdogs and community favorites.
So this time DRX are swapping it up. Mako finally using his Viper's Pit in short, and both initiators playing down B long. That is where OpTic are also going to be pressuring.
There's a shift as well with the Viper's Pit to try and plug up some of the gaps in the play. It's a hard clear though on the corner, and somehow Ye wins it out. Nice little flick though from Stax. He does return it, so it's a lovely little trade into that 4v4 situation. And space still going to be gained and not given up. Crashes does not choose to evacuate. Okay, now he's going to be leaving though, playing for that orb.
Crashes just disrespecting it completely.
Yeah.
Going for the orb pickup indicates, I think, to DRX that there must be at least 2 players there. They were thinking of rotating out. With Crashes, they have some tools to be able to deal with the pit, but he is firmly staying around Octagon.
With pop flash play, Stax really going to get this aggressive with them. And he has just made a bit of a fatal error.
What a punish! What an absurdly bold play from Stax. Oh, and
FNS capitalizing as well. On the other section of the map, pressure getting relieved elsewhere. FNS, of course, he's quick to capitalize. Quick to jump on it. Already into the back of the spawn, and Buzz is none the wiser.
We saw FNS be a playmaker yesterday with his 4K unbind, and that's another round.
Planted.
Perhaps one where they didn't even require it of him either, with the pick that they'd acquired over a B-long, but nevertheless, OpTic will take whatever they're given. And this really is looking like a drubbing to start the series.
Yeah.
It's a marathon, of course, a BO5, but DRX with no answers at the moment.
I got you,
So
Viper.
much individuality in the way that they're playing this defense. I think the Stax pop flash through the Viper wall has got to be one of the most obvious examples of it.
I think
Not
as well, you're seeing
choosing
signs.
not to drop back and play with the rest of his team.
Yeah, potential signs as well of the entire composition switch up with Arby playing this Astra. He looks to get pressured, the satchel. I mean, the guy's just pins it there. Will not be able to save the rifle into the next, but I think obvious examples of the defensive setups as well. I think DRX have not had a lot of time to put thought into bind. The only times they're really changing up is when they've got like a Viper's Pit online to make the kind of adjustments.
Can I touch it?
And this puts DRX back down onto another one of these eco rounds. OpTic now 3-0 when it comes to rifle v rifles. They were only winning a third of those against Loud.
Yeah.
So this is a massive difference.
Huge improvement.
And DRX just haven't got a game plan that's working. This, a gamble stack over towards A.
Something they're going to try and make work. Buzz showing some presence there with the early boom bot, but that got destroyed so fast.
There are large ults for DRX to work with, but they never get in position to use them on the rifle rounds.
Yeah, often being left. I mean, how many times have we seen it where DRX are just saving a couple of rifles?
We've also only seen 2 aggressive rounds from DRX. One with the short push, which, to their credit, worked. And the other on an eco round, they went for the showers crunch, which just got obliterated by OpTic.
Yeah.
So it feels like DRX are getting just conditioned here into passivity. Just hoping and praying that OpTic walk into the 4-stack on A.
They are so grouped.
So this is going to be the snakebite that lands on top of Tube. And another one for the Cubby on the right side. Faking, in my opinion, that it's going for a B hit, though, because look at the spike position.
Yeah. This is a bit unusual, but okay. Taking the bait. One player going to be TPing through. There's not really much follow-up off of it. No, DRX have realized.
Is it Crashies that's going to take the bait?
30 seconds left.
Yeah, he has the spike in his own hands. The players as well. Marth has somehow been cleaned up on the opposite side of the map, and these sheriffs are causing a lot of issues. Victor still wants to lead the charge. 2 kills. Taking space, and FNS watching the flank. Making sure to capitalize. Cool play happening. Quick little pop play. Straight through. A wider swing once more. And it's Zest left down to that 1v2. We've seen magic from this guy before in the past, at prior tournaments, but he's got a hell of a task ahead of him, and it's just not able to claw it out, not against Ye.
Scary round for OpTic at the end of it there, but the Seekers that Crashies used before he died helped Victor entry so perfectly. And this duo is just marvelous on bind. Ye hasn't really been asked to do too much. He's taking a lot of first fights. He's taken half of the first fights in the game so far. But when it comes down to actually entering into the sites, it's all on Victor and Crashies, and they're just doing a masterful job of it. There's never really been a round where DRX have been in control. They did get value out of the short push, though, previously. And it looks like they might be going for something similar again.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a triple play. They are just facing it. A lot of bodies looking in that direction. Still not too much to try and push back any potential B hit. That triple face does come out with the goods.
A bit too bold there from FNS.
Instant showstop. Here's the response. How did he not die? But RB is cleaned up eventually. One player struggling to get out of there. Yeah, that is just absolutely absurd.
And here we see for the first time the teleport play from Zest. He throws himself in.
Paid off. Ye was the last player standing to try and make anything work. Desperation, but a round on the board at least for DRX.
And it all starts with FNS being a little too bold, a little too confident. He jiggle peeked and I thought he'd seen multiple. Unfortunate there for Victor as well in terms of how his entry. The showstopper entry was perfect. His movement was good. Just somehow, some way, doesn't quite get the kill. And if DRX are able to get these final 2 rounds, somehow it won't look that bad.
Even though it's just
Let's play.
I mean, so flat.
What a push. Double initiator push coming out from DRX over on B long.
And Mako contains.
He's the only player
The
on A.
sole player anchoring it down.
He had to hit that shot. And Zest is now coming as reinforcement along with Buzz. Zest has his Nightfall to work with here too. But they are giving a lot of space for FNS to get the pit down. The only advantage DRX have is that OpTic don't know that it's only Mako here. So they're forced to be slow, cautious, respectful.
Still a minute on the clock. It's going to force out a bit of that util, but the boom bust destroyed so quickly. Yay! A lot of freedom being showcased to this guy with a tour de force in his hands. He wants to take the shot, and he does. Leg one of his opponents. Zest going to be walking away with a bit more than a bruise. The Viper's Pit laid down is going to make this one a bit more favorable for OpTic. Ye holding a close corridor. Just trying to take the shot here with a Nightfall. Bit of a jiggle. He has no sound cues to work off of. And now the entire kitchen sink just going to be chucked at him. But still no sign of the spike being planted.
This is always the most difficult situation when you play the pits on the side.
30 seconds left.
Bit of spam, it might just come down to a random kill.
Marv got the
Spray and
plant.
pray. Marv does get the plants. Another post plant can be set up by OpTic. Really difficult, but DRX, first time they've really felt favored in terms of the player advantage. Pop flash play, through around the corner, Mako again.
FNS is just hiding inside the pit. He is so weak, but everyone's got past him.
And a little bit of damage will do it. And Marv aims to just try and make something of it. Still FNS picking the timings well. Down to that 1v1. Mako versus Marv. The head-to-head of the controller players. And just the angles found. Marv withers the shot. What a play and what a round by Mako.
They are pulling this half back into some semblance of normalcy. Mako with a 4K in the round that starts with him being the sole player on A, and then a retake into his opponent's pit, and winning the clutch against the player that's been considered the best controller in the game for so long. 7 rounds in a row from OpTic. And DRX are 1 away from making it a competent half.
Insane. Insane for the Red Bull clutch.
And with those 4 kills, Mako now gets his pit online and makes this final round so much more dangerous.
A bit of a brawl taking place there in Showers. It's OpTic who are favored.
They seem to be winning those all the
There's
time.
no way Mako's pushing this.
Mako?
To the corner of his pits. Oh, just about missing each other. FNS. Looked like he was ever so slightly aware, but a reposition now from OpTic. With those early kills going their way, gonna look to try and take some space back over towards the B section of the map.
Mako's positioning is very good if they try and take the Viper's Pit back. For that reason, DRX stacking 2 players, and with the flash, they're going to keep the 2 players there. However, Stax doesn't have one online to actually stop this hit coming through anyway.
Viper's Pit, the Viper Molly, the snakebite's going to be really brutal, honestly, for DRX. RB doesn't look like he's vulnerable up there, but the Viper's Mollies are causing a lot of...
And RB's anchoring from a position where he could be vulnerable to the orbital strike.
And they are holding it. Marv, ready and waiting. What are they going to be choosing to clear here? Stax has been a demon in these close angles as well,
30
though.
seconds left.
It could go either way with just one small mistake on either side. Smoke's going to be dropped down now.
That triggers the pull.
And there's the ult. Off to the one side of the tube, looking to try and take some space. Pop flash play, Marv! Oh my goodness, yay! He will fall, and somehow DRX are actually holding on. They're salvaging this! Beautiful anchoring, weaving in and out, and they have salvaged this half.
A 7-5 half off the back of this, and what a play from Stax. I said he was being very individualistic on their defenses, but that play through the wall there is magical to catch Ye, keep hookah control, and crush the B hit. DRX looking like they might have a chance.
Relatively even by winning that first pistol round. This is an awkward engagement though off the rip. A teleport play.
Wow.
Bit of run and gun spam there with the frenzy, but there are no targets to be found, and it's DRX who are given complete free reign. It feels like up close and personal though, playing inside the smoke. It is DRX still who come up with the clean.
What a wild pistol round. They went for the play through the teleport, and then Ye is able to rendezvous back over into Lamps. And they're hoping to catch people off guard, and DRX is still diligent. They recognize that that is obviously a bait play, and clean everybody up.
DRX taking that pistol.
Wow. I mean, what a creative idea from OpTic, but I think just a little too
Before that they played versus FPX. A lot of the rounds they were winning were outside of the possibility of them even winning these pistol rounds, and so far against OpTic, they've won both of them.
And even with only one pistol round, they were still able to beat the defending champions of Masters Copenhagen.
So a big advantage heading into the second half of Bind here. Not even their map pick.
Taking that back.
Yeah, using that rotate rendezvous again. And playing over towards short. You heard the desk talk about how important this player is going to be. DRX have not played Bind with this composition, right? They've never had Buzz playing the Rays in this exact formula, but the last times that DRX have played Bind, and they don't play it much globally, they have been quite a slow team. Ever since they moved away from the double duelist, they've really calmed the pace down. So this is going to put a lot of pressure on FNS to get those IGL rotates correct and stack the right site.
DRX with a slow play, obviously not willing to make any mistakes to try and potentially offset that weapon advantage. It's a pop flash play. Lots of players at the back of the sites. They are cleaning it up easily enough. Crashies, last player left standing. Spike's going to go down easily enough as well.
And DRX are going to be able to wrap this one up even at 7 apiece.
Yeah, nice and pretty round.
Yeah, very clean beginning to this half. I mean, not a chance for OpTic to respond on either of the rounds that we've seen them play on the defense. And that is now a series of rounds in a row here, where OpTic have looked out of it, and DRX are starting to seriously heat up. The players getting into a rhythm, figuring things out. And this one is so important. DRX using that, FPX bonus round buy to make sure that they have 3 Vandals, or rather 2 Vandals, a Phantom, Bulldog, big weaponry heading into this bonus.
Yeah, and that makes them dangerous.
Very, very dangerous.
Satchel out.
Immense opportunities for a bit of snowball to occur right now. Double satchel play. Buzz has taken so much ground. Enough to just offset Victor there. He whiffed his nade, but still returns with the kill.
Yeah, just a bit too slow there from Stax trying to follow him up. They could have fought that one very heavily. You see the defensive utility being thrown out right now.
Ooh. Okay, Victor, we want to talk about it.
And Victor, I think, trying to get up on top of triple there so that he could get an angle towards short. 4 players from OpTic looking towards the A site right now, making a hard read with a minute still on the clock. The DRX are cutting noise to go for the re-hit.
And Marved as well with his reposition. He's up on the angle, ADSing in his sight. He whiffs the shot. It's a dangerous position for him to play in.
And what a deep smoke that he's thrown for himself. If Stax flashes through that, Marved is toast, so he still has to give up.
A lot of that space. Speaking of space, it is DRX with, again, cautious tail up through short. Making sure that they're very disciplined, not giving too much away. Zest has already worked his way up in a deep angle. Mako as well in Lamps. Through the back of the site, there's a smoke in the way. Marved thinking that anti-flash position as well. He's expecting it, but just pushing right through it. Absolute manic play by Zest. He is cleaned up nevertheless. A bit of an ADS battle. Yay, wins that one.
In the
desperation.
Oh, this little teleport play. Oh, and Mako gets picked off. And now there's only one player here. Crashy's in the perfect spot to deny. And OpTic are very rarely going to allow you to teleport in the mid to late round. Or rather, in the late round. Crashy's holding down Octagon there. Is just the perfect play to deny it.
Very aware of how they wanted to play that one. So OpTic not out of it just yet when it was looking like there was that snowball potential for DRX.
But DRX with such an interesting play. There were 4 players from OpTic defending A, and DRX walked down short, pushed 2 players away, Ye forced a rendezvous, and then still just found it so difficult to get the spike plant down. OpTic were just holding backside.
Hard read from the OpTic players. Different approach now though, Trailblazer through Fountain. Victor is the only one really holding down onto short as well. He's got utility to try and get out of it. He can hear the jump peak. And got to back away though.
That's such a cool little metagame happening there. Ye likes to post up on the short angle so often, so you need to jiggle peek when you play against OpTic, and Victor's trying to catch them after they jiggle peek and see that there's nobody there. Trying to play around these preconceived ideas and the game plans that will have been concocted on either side. And this is what so much of the game comes down to as you get deep in tournaments. Crashy's denying information and continuing to get his own over by B-Long, but Mako's snuck his way in.
Yeah,
and now the jiggle peek in has to happen on the other side.
He's made his presence known though, the snake bite, just to try and stop himself from being sandwiched, I think, from any sort of pressure. The spike is making its way over towards A. Feels like DRX want to be making a play off of this.
But can DRX actually get the spike down? Victor still has both satchels and nade. They need to try and force a fight, but OpTic are not giving it to them.
Yeah, difficult one for them. Especially with the OpTic players now making a fast rotation, a fast read, honestly. They've committed all of their players over towards here, and I think they've realized a potential mistake, but now the nade over the top should deny this one. Buzz, he sticks it through, satchel, off to the side, he survives.
Great movement.
Down to 68 health now, and the Seekers to try and push back OpTic once more, trying to make this retake happen now, but they've got a hard task once more. Flash through deep, Crashies now sticking this one onto the defuse, but has to get off for but a moment. And there's the pull once more, bit of spam. Pop flash play, wants to make the moves, but it's being covered. Mako has his teammates back, and now it's their time to strike all the way through with a crossfire. The weapon's looking far too good. DRX are looking on fire.
And then it's another amazing round from Mako. Gets a 4K off the back of a Lamp's positioning, but he'd also done all of the work to sneak into pocket to begin the round.
It's like Nats-esque play.
It is beautiful.
Berlin 2021.
Because also, when Nats was doing it back then, nobody really knew how to counter it.
Yeah.
People have got protocols in place to deal with it this time, and Mako's still working his way around it. The trademark evaded, Victor and Lamps evaded. Mako comes through, solidifies his position, playing anti-flash to help out Buzz. Just everything played beautifully there.
Just destroying.
And now OpTic forced to take, I think, their first thrifty round. Looking to pressure anybody at Showers and RB on the most passive position possible, but with one hell of a jiggle peek.
Yeah, that was a hell of a jump peek. Opened himself up very wide. There was opportunity there for Victor to take someone's head off.
And Ye's hunting for the same. Very heavy extremity control from OpTic right now, fighting over B-Long and Showers. And now that they've pushed people back on both of those avenues, looking for another play with the thrifty weapons just kind of moving towards short, seeing if they can group up.
Statistically, it's been an area of expertise over the course of this tournament for OpTic. When they get a bit of a Guardian in a couple of their hands, you know, the Headhunter bullets, they've been able to convert more rounds than most teams.
Bring them down.
Part of it comes down to the fact that they're willing to take those risks, like Victor taking point, but now DRX want to move through. It's a satchel to push them back. Mako still wants to take the lead, though, for the rest of his team. He is super vulnerable. The nade almost doing too much damage to him, but FNS tries to strike. Yeah, here's the danger zone. Showstopper in the hands of Victor, and it's pure cleanup. Stagstow left into that 1v2. He does have the rifle. 20 seconds, though, and the spike is not in a good position for him. Gonna have to reposition, but he's opened himself up. Crashies, the jiggle peek, spots him, and takes him out.
And Bren, you said it. OpTic's bread and butter at this tournament has been those half-buy rounds. Somehow, some way, OpTic make them happen. And this time, the answer was yay. Look at that 2K, perfect.
Just magic.
Finding the first one and then killing the player, tried to trade him. And just really good defensive stacking. We'll see Ye with an op in his hands. taking it on a very deep line towards B-Long and got behind the Viper Orb.
Snakebites dropping down at the feet of Ye there. Has to dodge the flash. Sees is actually going to be locking him down. There has to be respect being shown. Surely no. He still sticks around. He just doesn't care. This player's here with a rendezvous. Still there, never Prowler being used, and Buzz is actually going to be trying to initiate in and lead the rest of his team, but he does not take the shot. Mako tries to follow up after it, but he is also cleaned up. Flash play up close and personal. Zest taking matters into his own hands. Space is going to be gained, but you still need to deal with El Diablo.
He's everywhere. He's everywhere all at once. And DRX have to calm things down right now. They don't have the tools to be able to get into the site. If they can cut noise just for a little bit, maybe the Nightfall will open the way. Stax has got his flash online. Haunt as well.
Haunt, now the Nightfall scattered across.
And that Nightfall, I think it caught Victor as well.
Potentially just Yado still locks down the angle. Really working with absolutely nothing. Just pure aim. Stax has made his mark though. Jumping down onto the site, and again, Ye strikes. 4 kills in the round.
And Ye's been having somewhat of a quiet map until that play. The amount of utility that DRX used to try and push him away there is absurd.
And he was not giving him anything.
He held his ground the entire time, and the rest of OpTic, body block Trailblazers, broke the haunts, set him up on the angles, and allowed him to feast. I feel like this tournament, Ye has been set up by the rest of OpTic better than we've ever seen before.
The numbers he's been putting up, potential greatest of all time category.
And that's even with him cooling off slightly in the last 2 series that he's played. But don't get me wrong, that's going from greatest of all time, best performance ever, to a verified superstar. That's like going from the devil himself down to just being a demon.
Now this high ground position there, just can't quite nail the shot, although I believe Zest actually did take a tremendous amount of damage in the middle of Orders. No, it was just a contest outside showers. That's been taken now. Bit of a molly as well to deny anyone from trying to plant this one, but it is just that half by 4 DRX. They don't have the guns to be taking just the raw duels.
And look at how Crashies, in rounds like this, is going to maintain control and information towards B-Long. And it just means that if DRX go for some kind of teleport pivot, they're done for. Yeah. They're going to be running into a trademark, and then Crashies mopping them up from a really difficult position to contest. And that allows OpTic to stack 4 players here to deny the plant. And RB almost found the entry that they needed.
Little bit shaky.
But this looks like curtains for DRX. And we said, Brent, that prior round, round 18, was the pivotal one.
It was so important.
They took a timeout to decide whether they wanted to invest into it. They decided to go for the force buy, and it failed.
They're now on the cusp of potentially losing this one, and this is where it gets really dangerous. Look at the ultimates on the line for OpTic here. I mean, the Viper's Pit, the Orbital Strike again. Yay with the Tour de Force if they wanted to. This is something that OpTic have been doing. Been running a double operator defense setup when he has that Tour de Force. Not sure if they'll be opting into it at the moment, but just holding on to their rifles, it seems. But a buy round for DRX, a full investment across the board, and a must-win round.
These are the rounds where OpTic really want to contest areas where a Viper's Pit could be used by Mako. So you see them playing, again, heavy for B-Long and Showers, not allowing DRX to get control of those outer wings of the map. Areas where they could try to get into a site with the Viper ult. And DRX are so patient here.
Yeah. Have to be ready for anything. Stax is just watching the teleporter just in case there's a Showers play that might be made.
And you can see that all of the positioning from DRX is reactive. They're not planning to try and set the pace themselves. They're looking to respond to what OpTic throw at them.
It feels like Ye has caught on to the fact that, yeah, you're going to use utility to clear him out, but who has the confidence to swing him? Who has the confidence to actually capitalize? Because he has just been disrespecting every piece of utility thrown at him.
And at some point, you have to step up to Ye. You have to try to follow that flash and get the punish. It looks like DRX are going to try and work their way late through the Viper's Pit. You send 3-4 players hookah here, burst out, double blast pack, and send 1 late backstab as FNS is distracted.
That is their game
30
plan. That
seconds
smoke
left.
causes so many problems for them, but time is running low. You have to strike now. Viper's pick comes through. That's an orbital strike waiting for it. The players are just being stumped right now. Another flash, the season to the back of the site. There needs to be some space being gained here, DRX. You've got to try and jump out into the site. You're wading right into a potential trap, and still they lay claim to the site. But Evanes with a backstab. What a spray! The spike is denied, one after another. Evanes, you absolute monster. Creeping and crawling in the pit. And yeah, some consolation prizes at the end of the day for Buzz as he gets 4 kills, but OpTic are on map point.
10 seconds left.
What a play from FNS. The ping based on audio cues. RB way too late with the backstab. And FNS with a well-deserved pop-off there. The last few performances we've seen from FNS on Bind, he's looked like a playmaker.
Yeah.
A guy that can turn up in rounds and become a star. And he's just taken his team to map point. And this, make no mistake, is a must-win map for OpTic if they want to make that 3rd Grand Finals.
Got to convert it here on your map pick. Crashies. So much disrespect being shown on either side because Ye is so willing to take that space. 1 shot found, 1 kill as well. RB removed from the fight. Stax is next, and now just 3 players left standing to try and bring anything back in this map of Bind, but OpTic are just looking more and more certain.
We've seen some huge comebacks from DRX, but they're looking outclassed right now. Moments of brilliance, but oh, what on everybody from OpTic!
And one after another. They all fall. Risks being taken by Mako, but eventually he will also go down.